So things were pretty busy this last week, so I wasn't able to do as many readings. But despite everything I have to do today, I'm just gonna do a reading anyway because it's just starting to be too long. And I also feel like since the last reading, like the energies have changed a bit, so it's another good reason to jump back in. And I'll just show you what the cards said that I just pulled. The reason I'm wearing a coat and scarf is because my building is like heat included, but it's past May 1st now, and they decided that like springtime has come, but in Montreal, like it's still freezing. So anyway, I wrote the management an email like, it's still cold. Like, come on. Anyhow, hopefully either the sun will heat things up or artificial heat will happen. But yep, coat and scarf. So let me just tune into the energies today. Okay. Well, I kind of feel like the masculine energy is confronting the fact that they've have a distaste for what some people might call their karmic relationship, like a relationship where they fell passionately in love probably and felt like a kind of Romeo and Juliet type of like pull, like this is difficult and painful, but it's my destiny, blah blah blah, whatever, and then someone loses an eye, as they say, like in the process. So it's like they're finally, after the storm has died down, they're finally seeing this person in their life for what they truly are without the glamour. And it's like more plain than they thought. And it's really like very material, but without soul. So it can't house the miracles that they wish to experience in life. This person that they've been giving all their passion and time to is like an empty vessel, and brought them through many highs and lows, and like triggered all the things deep inside them to come out and play out, and then crash and burn, and then have to like sort through, so these people that come in, like I always say to my clients, like, we would never approach these karmic people unless they were cute and fascinating to us at first, or that they have to trigger our passions for us to even bother. Because like, if we really truly saw them for who they were on a spiritual level, it'd be like, I don't want these hard lessons, like, get out of my face, like, even though you're handsome or pretty or attractive or whatever, and that's what's good about developing your intuition, is you can measure what you see in the 3D against your intuition that guides you out of danger and into good things. And sometimes that means turning down things that you previously thought were very compelling. Anyhow, so I feel that this sort of lesson giving person that they once found like the most attractive just appears like in an empty vessel now, and is really, it's like they used to be filled with this kind of I don't know how to describe it. I mean, empty vessel is a good bit. Like, let's imagine a person shape that's like still holds their shape, but then like all this sort of magic fluid is drained out, and they're kind of like, like in Coffee Crisp, there's like a wafer in it. Imagine like just the dry kind of wafer being like the substance of how this person is formed, and then there's like sort of no, like the good candy bar aspect is not there anymore. It's just just the wafer that is a whole, like the structure is only there. Just 1 second. Turn this off. Anyway, and yeah, so it's like a bit of a there it is. Like I see you for what you are now that all of my instincts to like fill it, how you like fill in the gaps, like you meet someone and they don't say much and it's like, oh, they're so, because they're not saying anything, they must be so smart. Or like, oh, they must be dreaming about like, what, something. But it's like sometimes they're not thinking about anything at all. Like, and they're not that, there's no substance there. They're just being quiet because they literally have nothing to say. And so if you're a creative person or you have a lot of empathy or like you have a lot of stuff going on in your mind, in your heart, like you'll just be like, whoa, if they're like me, they're going to be thinking all these wonderful thoughts. But it's like, like can be just like hitting a bell and it's just being like resonating in the emptiness of that chamber that has no substance. So it's a bit of that, like, okay, like, it's sort of like, I'm getting another image of maybe too much for some people, but let's say there's like a person who's suffering from mental illness and they're in a room, but they can see really clearly like someone there and they're like arguing with them and whatever. So it's kind of like the masculine has been using this sort of empty vessel of a person to bounce off all of these like behaviors and ideas and passions and things like that. And it worked for a time until like they kind of gained back their clarity for whatever reason. Either they stopped drinking or taking drugs, or they changed some behaviors, they got healthier, like whatever it is that caused their mind to clear. Has now allowed them to see who this person really is. And that's like they were doing a big part in creating this kind of hologram of all their dreams and fantasies, like projected on this person who's not capable of making these dreams a reality. So that's one image I get. And the other one, which has been a bit of a theme, is the masculine coming forth and giving the feminine energy, like the one with substance, that maybe they rejected because they were more interested in projecting their passions on this other person or people, that they want to deliver some small gifts as a token of like apology and progress, like forward with them, that they want to create a material reality with them. So by giving like some material excuse me, gifts, it's like little building blocks towards creating this material life together. So there's that. I really don't want to get a cold because the heat is off, but anyway, if I keep wearing my coat. I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope that in other parts of the world you have warmer weather than we have. Okay. So I got a bunch of cards from the Golden Tarot, and I kind of see it like it's a story, like a sequence. So we have the Knight of Cups delivering, like coming forth on a mission to deliver their love offering, their emotional outpouring. Like you see how there's the waterfall with the drip on it and stuff coming from, and it's like the water seems to be coming from like the heavens that like in this deck are sparkling in gold. So it's like it seems to me that this is like an intuitively guided mission to come forward and present this offer of love. And it might seem a bit like impulsive, or like there's either the person is younger than the feminine, or they have like a slightly less mature quality. Nonetheless, they've put on their armor. Like they're not going to let anyone stop them, because they're like they've covered their whole body in metal to prevent like naysayers from trying to thwart them on their path. So they're coming forward with that, bearing like, and I feel like, as I said before, like bearing gifts. And he's wearing like a kind of greenish cape, which is like the color of the heart. But at the same time, it's kind of like lime green. So maybe it's like, a mix of yellow and green. So it's like social and loving kind of thing. But in the Lover's card that comes up later, his robe looks a bit like more yellow distinctly. So that's interesting. All right. So first, he wants to come forward with the offer of love, right? He wants to celebrate and create a union with spirit and the two, like the masculine and the feminine, because he's like experienced the richness of life, like in his own way, as a bachelor. And it's like, okay, I've had all this. I want something more. I want one more cup. I want the cup of my true love, like the feminine, to make this complete. Because I just kind of feel like it's just making me feel like like overweight and sloppy, like just taking from all these different people. And it's not truly what satisfies. Because it's been in this energy of juggling and being on the outside of stability, and like he's like outside of the village, like outside, away from the home. So he's just like wasting time juggling these different energies, like these different people, and outside of like stability that he craves. It's been keeping him in this eternal loop of distraction and clownish behavior, because he's just been like mesmerized and distracted by all these different offerings from people, and trying to like choose among them, like in a greedy kind of way, like what can I get the most satisfaction out of? And it's not a choice of the heart. And while there will always be this sort of row of different cups available to the masculine, whether he's single or like made a commitment, it's like, maybe sees them for what they are. Like they're not just cups, like what the contents have come out of the cups for him to see now, I feel. And he's like, yeah, I've had success, I've had this, I've had that, I've had passion, I've had, whatever. And he's like, I feel in this card like keeping a bit of a distance from them and observing them and like moving through this energy to get on his horse to present this offer of love, because he wants stability now. He wants something structured and that's visible in the community, that is like serious. This could be like a marriage card, or like it could also mean that we're talking about a Taurus. Because he's in love and he wants her to give her heart, and he wants to give his heart equally into this union. It's not just like him only bringing his cup to her. It's like he wants her to bring her cup as well, because he knows that she has been working on herself and that she has complete fulfillment, that she's a solid person, that she does have substance in her. She's not just a wafer, part of the coffee crisp. Like, she has a full cup to offer, and he does now too. And so it's like a mature kind of coming together with spirit watching over and blessing it. And maybe this wasn't a partner that he first saw choosing, because I feel that because she has like this dress that's like, because wait a second. This is a 2 of Cups, but I'm sort of reading it like the Lover's card. I'm seeing it like the Lover's card, but you know how the Lover's card, like they don't have clothes, but here they do have clothes. So in this card, like as the 2 of Cups, I feel like it's a more mature version, like where he's taking someone that maybe didn't appear like as rowdy and passionate as people he had been with before, but he really wants someone stable who's actually able to bring a full cup of love, like, and passion. And because her dress is like covering her entirely, like she may be more mature than he might have envisioned for himself, but nonetheless, this is what he realized like he wants. And he needs someone to match him equally. And the only way that's going to happen is if he chooses someone who's like fully developed and able to offer like a complete kind of love. Because he's really like sure of himself. Like he really wants to make this firm and solid, like earthbound relationship, because he's done with this like being haunted with passions and thoughts and behaviors and just kind of like random stuff having to do with temptation. And he's done juggling and feeling like outside of his stability, and he's done feeling like an overindulging person who's like tried everyone and everything, because like he wants to feel joy and he wants to feel a union with his spirit and love, like on earth, with one special person. So he's like determined now to get past all people's like comments and like desire to stop him on his path. He's just like, no, I'm covered in armor. I've got my cup, like I'm making my emotions and my love offering, like there's a certain vulnerability in that and truth in that, and to protect that on his way from getting like stopped on his path. Like he's in full armor, so people know, like, do not mess with me. Because he has the Ten of Swords, like he's just seen and met everyone. He's just like, everybody, like, get out of my temple. Like party's over. Like it's like someone takes the needle off the turntable and you hear that scratch, and then it's like, okay, and the lights turn on and it's like, okay, all like get out. And so all his like exes or people he was like flirting with or whatever, they're all gonna get scooched out of here. So you just have the temple, the place where the masculine and feminine can go hang out and make a home. Because you can't really make a home with like all these people trying to barge in or change your mind or seduce you or distract you or whatever. Like if you want to have like a solid, fruitful life, you have to like come forward honestly, make something solid so that you can then celebrate for the rest of your life, that union with each other and spirit, making something good and right. Then we have Tiger's Eye, which gives you courage. And the affirmation is, I'm courageous and this energy supports me throughout my life. So Tiger's Eye wants to remind you and assist you in being courageous, and to remember that the energy of courage is there supporting you throughout your life. You just have to access it, like uncover it, and you can ask for the crystal kingdom to assist you, because like crystals had enough focus to gather these elements towards themselves in the earth to be like unique and resonating with these colors and these materials. If they had so much focus, they can lend this focus to us. So call upon Tiger's Eye to give you the courage to move forward and present this love offering. Then we have the Five of Cups. So the masculine was in deep regret about the conflict that was going on with all these different partnerships, desires, addictions, like whatever they might be. Just gonna look at the definition. Where's the box? Okay. And what's interesting is like when I lifted up to get this little booklet, oh my gosh, I thought it was like the real card, but it's like on the box. So anyway, but I think it has some kind of relevance. So it's like, we're talking about the masculine who at his best is like the emperor. But at the moment, he's working with these energies of like this. But, I think once he is connecting and like doing the right thing, moving forward, he'll, not become the emperor, but unveil the emperor within, right? Okay. So I'm looking at Five of Cups. Okay. Maybe I can take my scarf off. This is a really cool scarf. I will just show it off to you right now. I got it secondhand. I got most of my stuff secondhand, but not these glasses. But it's Pierre Cardin, reversible. It's kind of awesome. I like his house in the south of France. I haven't been, but I'd love to see it. Okay. Okay, now I'm like having a supreme space out. Okay, I want to get. Where are my cups? These books are like, I'm not if you watch my readings, I'm not a big fan of these little books. Okay. I'm taking a class right now online for something unrelated to tarot and intuition. And and I've been taking a lot of notes, handwritten and stuff, and it's a good warm-up for me, like making my own book, which I would love to do for these definitions. Okay, I know I'm getting there. Because these little books. Okay. Don't get me started. Okay. The Lord of Loss in Pleasure. The 5 empty cups surround a large inverted pentacle in the center of the card, suggesting loss. At the bottom of the card are fallen water lily petals. Although the lotus stems ascend between the cups in the manner of a fountain, no water flows. Oh, so sad card. From any of the cups. Above and below appear the symbols of Mars and Scorpio. Death or end of pleasure, partial loss, disappointment, sorrow, treachery, sadness, deceit, ill will, detraction. Okay. Yeah, so this is the I just pulled one card from the Hermetic Tarot for what the masculine is going through. Yep. And like there's been, like, you could say maybe even they had like 5 people juggling, 5 people in their lives, or there were 5 like important people in their lives or situations in their lives, and they've kind of all dried up now, and they're like I was saying at the beginning of the reading, they're just seeing these people or this person for what they are, and it's like kind of, it's all dried up, like there's no substance, there's just that wafer, kind of like, okay, yeah, you may be physically cute, or this job might seem good on the surface, or whatever it is that is the source of like where they were putting their passion and creative energy into. It's all dried up, and so there's a sense of loss and regret, and maybe there was even treachery involved, where like they thought that this person was really offering them the world, but they weren't. It was just to control them, and maybe they were interested in the masculine's finances or ability to manifest a stable life, but meanwhile they were being selfish or treacherous behind their backs, like having other people, or being deceitful. And so now this is revealed to them, and it's not like, on the one hand, does it feel good to be in the 5 of Cups situation, but it's good to see like what's really happening, and see things for what they truly are, so that you can like be like, okay, goodbye, and move on. Take what you have left, like you still have your own cup left, you still have your own heart that you can fill with love and present, and you can just be like, I'm done checking out what I thought was like so glamorous and full of possibilities that ended up just being dark and empty. And I'm saying goodbye to these characters or this person or these passions and whatever that I had. It's just like kick them out. Party's over. Because they want to move from being this like juggling fool outside of the village who's just like overindulged themselves, and they want to like come forward and present their love to someone who also has shown that they were presenting their full cup of love to them. And at the time they might have been like, yeah, no thanks, like I got like all these other honeys to contend with. Who needs you? Who needs like just one when I can have 7? But now he's like, okay, let's get real. And from my deck, we have the intersection, which feels positive. So they're going to come together. They're going to cross paths, the masculine, the feminine, and he will make, I feel like, well, yeah, I was sensing, but it's also coming through here, where he's like coming forward in love to make a solid offer. And because I don't watch a lot of TV, sometimes I watch like other readings and stuff, and it seems to be that other readers are also confirming this coming forth with a stable offer vibe. But everybody describes it like a little differently from each other because everybody has everyone's unique, even readers and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna, because it's been a little while again, hopefully I can have some of my own like consistency of schedule going on so that I can give more readings. Like I enjoy them, I learn a lot from them, and I hope that you enjoy them too and get some valuable guidance or just like things to think about or support, however you want to see that. I'm just gonna send a bit of energy now for the viewing audience. And this can work like at any time that you watch, because like healing energy is timeless. Yeah, the feeling I get when I'm sending that energy is that people have some like too much kind of chatter going on in their heads. And like, for instance, I was watching like a couple kind of dating advice videos and about like, because like I don't know about you, but like men can seem a bit like mysterious or confounding at times. Like, why do they do that? Or like, but it's like men and women are different, and that's what makes it fun to be with each other. It's because it's not like, so nothing's really that obvious. But one of the advice things was that you don't need to constantly translate how you're feeling into words, because guys are naturally able to understand the emotions that are coming from a person. So, and emotional energy is non-physical, and you could argue that it could remain non-physical. Like you don't necessarily have to go on and on about like trying to drag the energies of emotions like down into words, down like into the concrete. Excuse me, it's like freezing in here. So that's something I wanted to like try, because I'm a very communicative person and comfortable describing my emotions and stuff. But it's kind of like the 24-hour weather channel, where you don't really like need to know like how the weather's doing like every 10 minutes, right? I think you can just have a general, like, do I need an umbrella? Like, Is it going to be a hailstorm? And then kind of leave it at that. Like you could say to someone like, I'm having a good day, but you don't have to like get all down into like every little aspect of like how you felt every second of the day. And there's a certain amount of dignity that you're giving your emotions by not dragging them down to a lower dimension. It was my rationale for trying out not expressing my emotions so much in words or the written word. So yeah, so the feeling I get when I'm sending you guys energy is that there's a bit too much going on of people trying to translate how they feel and then trying to communicate that. Like maybe let those feelings be on that higher dimension in that kind of liquid sort of vapor form. And they're more easily able to shift and heal in that place than if you drag them down and make them solid and express them and say like, this is how I feel. And it's like, it's very intimidating to have someone even like, I know what it's like on the other side too, like where someone will say to me like, very nice things and like that they're like 100% sure about me. And it's just like that, like when you bring something that is meant to be on a higher dimension down, it can feel like the wrong frequency and it can be repelling to people. And I've experienced that on both sides where I've been the person doing that, bringing down an energy that's not supposed to be earthly and then having it done to me. So I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like how that feels. So why would I do that to somebody else, And so I'm feeling like in the audience, there's this tendency of some people to be trying to pull down these higher frequencies, but maybe like let your mental space and your emotional space be where they are and spend time nurturing yourself in the physical, like being more active, taking care of your body, like having more water than like other kind of substances and stuff. Treating the physical like the physical and letting the emotional level be the emotional level. And yeah, because then that way you can receive the energies in the frequency that they want to come and heal you. Because if you're bringing down these, if you're making solid these things that aren't in nature solid, you're kind of building a wall, I feel, that is blocking you from your blessings. This is kind of like heavy duty, little, like a little inspired lecture here a bit. Like I hope you get what I'm talking about and like how it might be valuable for you to like change that behavior so that you can receive all the blessings and miracles that are just like bursting at the seams waiting to come into your life if you can only like stop doing like stuff that gets in the way, right? We can waste a lot of time resisting or assuming we know everything. But it's really about an energy flow. And like, if you imagine standing at the edge of the ocean is not like a cube, like a solid cube. It's like constantly shifting and moving and full of life. And that's how we want to be too. We don't want to be just like 2001 A Space Odyssey. We don't want to be like that rectangular shape that's just like humming with some vibration. Like, I want to be like the ocean. Because so much of our nature, so much of us is water. And to like tie back to the beginning of the reading, if we're like majority fluid, majority like full of love and fluid things that are like emotions and mental space and like the flow of life and everything is like more fluid. It's like it's important to be that, you know, like we're only a little bit structure and we're mostly fluid. So getting back to the beginning of the talk, it's like when the masculine is noticing that his karmic relationships are really just the wavefront, not the ocean, you know, maybe it's that moment in 2001 where they go off planet and they're touching the black whatever that's called shape. It's not like I haven't seen that movie like 50 times, but you know, and it's like, yeah, it has a vibe, but it's kind of a piercing like screech, you know, and it's not something that seems like life sustaining. It's like it's something, it's a lesson, like it's a form of intelligence of one kind, but it's not like life, and it's not like this free flowing abundant kind of joy kind of thing. It's more like this static resonance of like emptiness and just like a hard lesson, you know, kind of thing. It's kind of a longish reading, but you know, it's been a while. It's nice to be with you guys again. So I hope you can truly like allow your emotions and your thoughts be in their space and leave them there doing their good job without having to pull them down and like they kind of mansplain to everybody like what's going on with everything. Because when you explain everything, you're removing the possibility of mystery to exist. And not like, I don't mean mystery in terms of secrets. Mystery is like the source from which like the magician can pull down miracles, like bring heaven to earth and stuff. And you have to respect that mystery plays a role in attraction, and it allows like some freedom. So with that lack of definition comes creative possibility. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Generally, when I work with clients, I'm not using cards, and I just do like psychic and Reiki master and triple flame healing, either over distance or in person. But in person, generally, I only take referral clients. And that's partly so that I don't have to explain to people every last aspect about what healing is, because what happens is their friend had a great experience having healing from me, and then their friend sees how happy they are, and then they want some of that for themselves, and that's how I get my in-person clients. But I'm happy to work on people that I don't know over the web, and the session is just as effective no matter where you are in the world, because energy travels instantly, and I'm working with universal energy, so it's like in everything, and there's no distance or time. So if you're interested in a healing session that includes like a psychic reading, please contact me. It's like one of the healing work and stuff is just one of many things I enjoy doing in life, but it's definitely like very fulfilling and fascinating. And I wish you all a wonderful day, wonderful life. It's inspired and blessed and filled with like all the goodness that the universe wants to share with you, if only you will let it in, right? Okay. Talk to you soon.